In my mind, it's no surprise that Bagley became so popular. It's funny, useful, fast. It's a great companion and really just makes life so much easier. I mean, when you look back at all the service AIs that used to exist, they just can't compete. When you ask Bagley anything, there's a quick answer and loads of information available to you. One day, I let Bagley answer all of my messages for a whole 24 hours and no one even noticed the difference.
The other competitors really just couldn't compete with Bagley. Their answers were so much worse, they didn't understand anything, and Bagley pretty much gets everything right first time. Do you have any idea why Bagley really beat all the competition?
Well, it's really the data. Isn't it? Ever since Broker hooked up with Bloom, that's when things changed.
And really, that's not actually that great. Bloom has data on everybody. They collect information about everything you're doing across the web through your optic headset. Isn't the AI only good because of Bloom surveillance?
Well, I suppose so, but I prefer not to talk about that side of things. Bagley is so special because it's been trained on this huge cache of information. That's how these AI systems work, or at least used to work. I mean, we don't really know that much about the latest version because there's so much secrecy around the tech. But they're given this huge amount of training data. It's basically a huge database that's used to teach the AI about patterns in behavior. You know, so if you all travel the same into a house, they can predict where you're going to go and get a self-driving car ready.
Albion have established an operational base in the Royal Court of Justice.
Albion own the bloody courts now. It's like picking up a go directly to jail card at this point.
Exactly. But it likely means there's information here about how Albion are targeting dissenters, the who and the why. We need that data if we're going to disrupt their operation.
Spread out. We need to find them.
Spread out, but stay in contact. I've had enough. Ugh.
This shotgun can fuck you up. Going to investigate. You better watch it.
I'm approaching. Cover me. Well,
Search the area. Damn, his wallet just vanished.
yeah, no arguing with that logic.
Bagley, what have we got?
A list of what Albion consider high-value targets that are threats to the peaceful running of London. See here, a journalist, and this one runs a community shelter. Good God, bar your doors.
What the fuck?
All suspected of sowing rebellion or exhibiting tendencies towards. Albion is systematically arresting people even before they rise up. Joke's on them. This list can actually help us find like-minded allies willing to help us. Well done. Now, let's disrupt some of Albion's propaganda and give some hope to the people.
This is London Calling. I'm Tash, and this is Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. Today we're talking about policing, by consent or by force for profit. Ever since Sir Robert Peel created the police force as we know it in 1829, London has relied on the Metropolitan Police Service for peace, stability and justice. They weren't perfect, but at least there was some democratic control. Now there's a new sheriff in town. If you're a victim of crime or you just want to silence a peaceful protest, there's a new police force to turn to. Albion. And they're about as far from the old-fashioned Bobby on the beat as it's possible to get. When Hassani handed over London to Nigel Cass, many people were surprised. But we weren't. London has been up for sale and privatisation for years. The only difference is that now the private companies have guns. So how did it happen? What does it mean? How can we reverse it? And what's the price of justice? On Buccaneer, we conceal everyone's full names for their own safety. Here's Helen, who investigated policing, civil rights and justice in pre-crisis Britain.
One of the kind of classic hallmarks of a fascist leader is having their own private army or police force. In a democracy,
Sweep the area!
Monopoly on violence, and that's not what happened.
Initiate search protocol.
You end up with people running their private militias, and you see it all over the world. Every kind of great dictator.
Drones is prohibited. If you witness unauthorized hacking, report the incident immediately. Failure to report an incident could result in arrest.
Target remains undetected. You asked for it.
Attention. Basic cybersecurity awareness is your responsibility.
This is the new normal, innit? To see Albion's brand everywhere you look. At least that's what they have us believe in. Fucking dickheads.
There's going to be that much less once you're done here. Let's give Camden a break from these eyesores.
I've got this.
Citizens have an important role to play. Observe, report, keep crime levels down, and keep streets safe.
I think it's very important to consider the changes that have happened in public space in London.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's great. Absolutely, if you can, yeah, sure. Yeah, no, one second.
If you hijacked that scissor lift, you could use it to access the rooftop.
Yes, nicely done. That'll get people's attention. Let them know someone is standing up to Albion. Light the spark that they can stand up to.
If nothing else, it'll relieve their eye strain.
What now?
We're already seeing results from what you've done. That list we found named a journalist in Camden who's been investigating Albion. We reached out and he's got information that can help us. I think you should meet with him.
Send me the coordinates.
Control. Any word on my relief? It's on the schedule.
Guess I'll be moving on.
Capture code 4 control. I'm all good here.
Welcome to DedSec. Bigger, stronger, badder than ever.
Bang in. Hype to expose the bastards in charge, yeah?
Fuck yeah.
For a long, long time, having bad eyes is a big deal. Maybe you can't see it, man.
What was that?
What?
This is London Calling. I'm Tash, and this is Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. Today we're talking about policing, by consent or by force for profit. Ever since Sir Robert Peel created the police force as we know it in 1829, London has relied on the Metropolitan Police Service for peace, stability, and justice. They weren't perfect, but at least there was some democratic control. Now there's a new sheriff in town. If you're a victim of crime or you just want to silence a peaceful protest, there's a new police force to turn to. Albion. And they're about as far from the old-fashioned Bobby on the beat as it's possible to get. When Hassani handed over London to Nigel Cass, many people were surprised. But we weren't. London has been up for sale and privatisation for years. The only difference is that now the private companies have guns. So how did it happen? What does it mean? How can we reverse it? And what's the price of justice? On Buccaneer, we can feel everyone's feelings to their
Do you need some help? What's up?
You're the crew that's been sticking it to Albion? Can't believe someone else is. Thought I was alone, right? Not doing much, just putting the word out. But you? Taking action, mate.
What else can we do? I'm not going to sit and watch while this city burns. Albion's got to go, but they're not leaving without a good arse kicking. What's your intel then?
Almost got clip finding this. All of Albion's operational data for the entire city. Convoy routes, surveillance targets, assets. It's all there. Thinking you can make good use of that.
That's the goddamn truth.
Here's a sample. Albion's closed King's Cross to the public, right? But what people don't know is that they're using it as their logistics centre. Materials, troops, whatever. A lot of it runs through there. You want to give the people a huge boost? Hit that place. Put it out of commission, and you'll severely hamstring Albion's operations here in Camden. Hell, everywhere.
That's the plan then.
We spoke to academic Alfred, all named in the down low, of course, about the politics of law.
Albion's operational plans are just what we needed to really get some traction. We'll have to take a close look at this. Now, how do we take King's Cross offline?
Albion's housed a massive hybrid-powered generator in there. Output must be immense. You cause a power surge in that beast and boom.
Yeah? And how do you know this, mate? That's not the kind of intel you can find online.
It cost me a news drone. Okay, maybe 3, but it's worth it if this comes off, right? Getting to that generator ain't gonna be easy. They've locked it up tighter since I last saw.
What do I do?
My news drones are still in here. They should be functional. You can use one of them. Probably have better luck piloting it too, yeah?
Well, causing a power surge in a hybrid-powered generator isn't like making a toasty. We're going to need detailed specifications.
We need to dig into this. Are you seeing this?
Cool, looks bloody complicated. Newsy's got a pretty functional camera. Would a picture do you, Bagley?
It would indeed. According to this, there's an override code that'll get us into the generator's system. That's it. Use the code on the generator and I can trigger a power surge.
It should be enough to take King's Cross offline. And the rail system too. Here we go.
We got a gold mine of information out of St. Pancras. Albion convoys, informants, gear, you name it. Everything we need to ignite the people of London, like we did in Camden. Derail Albion's operations and give the people a reason to rise up, borough by borough. The more we do that, the more we'll get allies flocking to the cause. We'll show London that DedSec is here for them.
That was off the chain, mate. I knew DedSec weren't the bad guys Albion was saying. Now the rest of Camden will too. Thanks.
Thanks.
Now that you've shown the borough what DedSec is really all about, there are going to be folks wanting to join up. A lot of people have been looking for a way to fight back. In fact, there's one in particular I suspect will contact you very soon. I happen to know they're champing at the bit.
We welcome all types, mate. Gonna need everyone on board to unfuck London.
And now I'm wet, too.
What's up with him, Bagley?
Actually, the strangest thing about him is he's not weighed down by old soup cans at the bottom of the Thames. He has a load of dodgy gambling debts and he's refusing financial help from a rich friend.
Never known a gambler to turn down free dosh. Something's fishy.
Look at you keeping up. Maybe this friend can help explain our prospect's unusual behaviour.
Solid plan. Bagley, broker a meeting.
Well, fuck me, you're still alive. I owes have been a tenner. Not only that, but your resistance handiwork just opened up a whole new source of information. So now I spy with my hypothetical eye something interesting at the Ministry of Civic Management.
No rest for the wicked. What's up?
The Signals Intelligence Response Service, or SIRS, or the Earl Grey Gestapo, have developed a surveillance technology called AR Reconstruction. It's the bleeding edge of privacy rights violation, and thus it could be very useful in our attempts to find Zero Day.
What's up with him, Bagley?
Looks like he's a marked man. Clan Kelly put a bounty on his head.
Why?
He's an underground bare-knuckle boxer, a rather good one too. He managed to take down a mob-backed favourite in his last match. Now they're sending out an enforcer to make sure he never wins again.
Well, that's hardly a fair fight, is it? Bags, give me a trace on that enforcer.
Already done.
Shit, bollocks. Whoa.
That's a little cheeky, I like that.
This is London Calling. I'm Tash, and this is Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. Today we're talking about policing, by consent or by force for profit. Ever since Sir Robert Peel created the police force as we know it in 1829,
I will leave.
Excuse me, I need space. Oh, don't follow me. Oh. What a strange person. No, I did do that. Yeah, I left her at home. No, she's in the kitchen, right? Yes, I did. It's in the kitchen on the...
That's pretty much the opposite of what our prospect would have wanted. Oh well.